well, now in front of one of my favorite cars. I'm not sure why, and I was trying to figure out why I love this car so much, but I just love the 510 Datsuns, especially the BREs. And Les Canada's here, of course, classic Datsun.
Looking sharp as always.
Does all my work. Does all my
Catch
work.
me at my best all the time.
So the car's going to run up in Sears Point in Finian, Sonoma. 2 weeks, about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. We have what?
You've never driven it.
No, but that's,
We haven't even sat in it yet.
He backed it off the trailer.
I backed it off the trailer.
We're putting a seat in it, put a steering wheel in it. You got to get it ready for you.
I don't think that this thing's going to be that much different than the 610.
It's got more power.
Oh, now, yeah. But now the 610.
Is the 610 heavier?
Yes, this car is going to feel different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, it'll feel better. Anyway.
It'll have crappier tires.
Yeah.
So you might be about equal. You know.
It'll have better brakes. I don't know.
They have the same brakes.
The 610, I'm excited because the 610, which I nicked up a little last time out, is getting a new motor because the old one was a little tired. This thing has a 1800 in it,
Yep.
right? And it's probably stroked in something to up to 1900,
Well,
maybe a little
they were happy to tell us that it was supposedly 230 horsepower, but we're not going to go there.
We're gonna see about
Yeah.
that.
We're gonna see
When was
about
this
that.
motor built?
The guy bought the car. It's a Rebello motor.
It's a Rebello motor.
When was it built?
In 1999, 98 or 99.
It's been sitting a little while.
Yeah.
It's been a little while. It hasn't had a lot of.
Last race in 2001. It's only got one race on it.
All right.
Yeah, the guy
We better make sure it runs.
The guy I bought the car from is like real nice guy out of Atlanta. He was like, yeah, it's got like 240 horsepower at like 4,000 RPM. And I was
Yeah,
like,
no, I don't
no,
think about that.
Like, I don't want to be a dick, but no, it doesn't. And it's like, yeah, I wanted it low so I could get the horsepower, low. It's like,
Yeah,
not this
RPM,
motor,
yeah,
not at
RPM.
4,000.
Yeah.
8,000, maybe it's got 218.
So what kind of torque do these make? Because it's a real small displacement.
They have, the way they're building them now, they're getting a fairly flat torque curve that's pretty good with the horsepower numbers. And they're getting decent torque, just depends on the cam that they're running.
So if they're running 200 plus horsepower, torque's what, 180-ish?
Yeah, the motors that we've been in, pretty even, if I recall.
And what do these spin to, about 8,000? Are they going that high?
This one should go to 885.
So the torque probably comes on around 3,500
yeah,
and
it
goes
goes
flat
all the
up
way
to
to
about
6,000 or 7,000.
Yeah, it's pretty flat
good,
from there, yeah. So as long as you're got it geared right and you're just on the throttle.
Yeah, you gotta keep the revs up and shift it probably 83, 8,400, something like that. Yeah. And then, the thing that's great about these cars is they're light. This is probably 1,900 change, maybe.
Probably about 1,940.
And once you figure in the weight and handling and all that kind of stuff, and I think it's fun because these will get around a lot of tracks just as fast as the big Trans Am cars will, or right up with them.
Yeah.
Because they're such thundering beasts, but they're a little too heavy and the tires are a little too light for what the car is, and the guys are pitching them sideways all day long, and it's a ton of fun. But these things will actually hang with some of those guys. They're not going to be at the front of the pack.
I mean, like you're saying, they're light and they stick. You don't have to go real fast in road racing and have fun. It's just how quickly can you throw it into a corner and keep it there.
Right.
And that's why guys like Miatas and stuff are out there having a great time.
In 2001, the whole crowd at Monterey was watching this race because Tommy Riggins was driving this, and he's a famous Trans Am driver. John was in the other 510, only two cars. And John was just slicing his way through the big cars because that's back when they mixed them both up. And Vic Edelbrock decided to block him every lap.
What was Vic driving?
Black and gold Camaro.
Oh, yeah.
The 3/4 scale Camaro.
Smoky Unique.
Yep, Smoky Unique Camaro. And John finally saw John Norman coming up in the rearview mirror in the Alpha. And John said, I can't let John Norman beat the 510 at Laguna.
Yeah.
And so John finally hit Edelbrock in the rear quarter panel, bent the driver's side strut, cracked the fender, and then passed him, and then did another 3 laps and won his part of the race. But he went from
I guess that's one strategy.
He went from like 17th to about 5th or 6th on the grid through the big cars. And Tommy Riggins was right behind him in this car doing the exact same thing, just cutting through the field.
Old man Vic's in the way. Let's just hit him, get him out of the way.
And this thing, I was looking at some times for Vic and Cammie, his daughter, and driving the 350 GT350 Mustangs and stuff like that. And these cars are They don't push as hard as John Morton pushes,
Right.
but
Yeah.
he's turning 148 laps,
Yeah.
and they're turning 153 laps.
On the shorter tracks, I imagine they're way more competitive. When you get onto
Sure.
a bigger track
Well, the
with
bigger
long
cars-
straights, then they got more power to
The
pull.
bigger cars are point and shoot, and this is a finesse car, and this one comes
Yeah.
right up through the corners and catches the big cars. They pull away on the straightaways, they catch them the next corner.
And this car in particular, this is a Bobby Allison car. Now, this is supposed to be the second team car that was built by BRE, by Pete Brock?
Yeah, it was as it is painted, it was the Mike Downs car. And when they fired Mike Downs, got rid of Mike Downs, whatever you want to say, then they had Bobby Allison come in. He brought Coca-Cola sponsorship, so he pretty much got the seat for the rest of the second year. And by bringing the sponsorship, they just changed the number to 85, and they ran the car the rest of the way as like this.
It's cool from every angle. The flares are cool. They've done some things that you all should definitely do if you're doing some vintage anything, which is, no vinyl decals. Oh, the Coke's a vinyl decal, but it probably would have been
Yeah, it was.
back then. But they get hand painters and they get the sign painters and they paint it and they use a brush, and it's not perfect, and you can see a little bit of the color bleeding through and some of the brush strokes and stuff on it.
Yeah.
But it's
funny that
cool.
they use a brush.
They do. They
Yeah.
have special brushes, and hell, that's what got you the award for the other car, was seeing
Yeah.
that stuff hand painted on the other car.
So I
thought
know
it was
you're
the
working on
driving
it.
anyway.
You're working on it right now. We just drained the oil, so we won't be able to fire it up, but we can definitely lift the hood. And
Yeah,
peek,
definitely,
Peek in hood.
Yeah. So to prep a car for something like this that's been out of circulation for a little while, you want to change the
Change
motor
all the
oil.
fluids,
You want
yep.
to change the
Brake
the
fluid,
diff.
rear end.
Yeah.
You do the diff. You do the tranny. You do that motor.
Do the radiator.
Flush the radiator.
Yep.
Water wetter
Yep.
in there.
Yep.
And then you would bleed the brakes.
You'd
probably?
bleed all the old fluid out. If depending on what they used for fluid back then, it's hydroscopic, so it'll attract moisture. You bleed it out. You run higher temperature fluids available nowadays. So we'll run the top of the line fluid, and it's just a Motul product.
I don't
It
know
goes
if
to
you've heard this.
625.
I like to skimp a little when it comes to braking. So let's not go top of the line. That extra $2. I could
Might as
spend
well-
it in a million different places.
Let's check the electronics.
Okay, you go get your Ford guys. We'll just get the Ford heavy duty truck.
There you
fluid.
go.
That'll be fine.
Let's check the electronics. Maybe the gauges work this time.
Ooh, it's only right.
Probably gonna have to move that oil bucket again. There we go.
I lied. Oh, wait a minute. No, I didn't. Tack's coming right off the back of the right off the back of the camshaft.
Oh, it
yeah.
is?
There's
Oh,
your tack.
That's my drive.
There's your tack drive right on the back of the
Costing me
camshaft.
half a horsepower. So what you have there is the Solex side draft, I don't know, 48.
These are 44s.
44s.
Yeah,
all right.
44s.
I got a nice heat shield here.
You got an original rare BRE heat shield, which is hard to find. Aaron and I were just kind of looking over this, trying to figure out some of the stuff, what was original and what's not. So
Yeah.
part of the stuff in here is,
We do have the MSD box.
Yeah.
that's right, yeah.
That's right.
You have aluminum radiator. You have an oil cooler there. You have the oil spray bar feed here, correct?
Yep.
Radiator fill. I mean,
This
the
is, yeah, it's
tank,
the
Overflow.
top,
overflow
yeah,
tank.
overflow.
What do we do? What do you want to run for air filters? What do you want to run for?
Well, I don't think
stacks?
there's a lot of dirt at Sonoma.
That's on the track.
We can get an ITG to fit this, but we might have to get a smaller one than we've
I
been
might
running
just
before.
go with my weird fine screen thing.
Okay, well.
Not the rubber one, but the one where I just do
this
the
little
screen.
with the zip tie?
Yeah.
You could do that.
Yeah, all right, I'll make those up. And you're going to replace.
We're going to have to drain that and replace those two master cylinders.
Right.
And then we're going to have to, we'll refill everything with fresh fluid and rebleed the whole system. Now, this car has the Porsche brakes, the same as the 610, so it should feel similar, other than the weight difference.
This car's.
And this car,
I think this car is 200 pounds lighter.
at least, yeah.
Is that much lighter, huh?
Yeah.
Is 610 just that much bigger?
No, it's a huge car. The standard car cover that we put on this car doesn't fit the 610 by about 2 feet.
Really?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know why. It just you couldn't you can't get the 510 car cover on your car at all.
This love the crinkle finish here. Love the tack, oil pressure, water, all that good stuff. Old school. I don't know if these are aircraft switches, Les, or
Those are, World War II aircraft switches that the guys used to get from the aircraft surplus places down by LAX.
and it's got the box in the middle that's a lot like the 610 with just the push button start and that switch that's covered up.
Safety switch, yeah.
Brake ballast thing that every car I have has, and I don't know how it works or what to do.
It's for dialing out rear brake. If you feel
Yeah.
you have too much rear brake, you dial out some rear with that or in some more rear, but you really don't get any, you don't get a lot more front that way, but you also have a balance bar on the pedals.
And you can get the picture. It's pretty bare bones inside. This is the rim that actually, and I think it came out pretty good. This is the rim that should be run on this car and will. 13-inch Libra, which I just had polished and powder coated, and I was trying to pick out the right gray from a little swatch.
Looks good.
And I also went with a satin and not a gloss
Perfect.
finish. So we got a satin gray. I'd say that's about the right color.
about right, yep.
They would patina and get a little, but it'll get a little brake dust and whatever on it anyway.
Yeah,
but
it'll get a little darker.
It'll get a patina and get a little bit darker. And the original ones would be not aluminum but magnesium, and they would get that sort of patina on them. But the polish looks good.
Yeah.
I think
The
on
powder
them.
coating
great. Looks great.
Full
Yep.
size, in and out, fully done.
Yep, that's
Powder
what you
coat looks good, and that's the rim that'll be run on this car. I don't know why, but this kind of stuff just turns me on,
Yeah, it
right?
totally
If you
does.
don't like this, there's something wrong with
Absolutely,
you,
the way
right?
it should be.
Yeah, so this rim was really just like born to be on this car.
When Peter Brock put those on, it's become one of the BRE paint scheme, the 510. Those wheels about the most copied thing in the world. And when it comes to that's what belongs on that car. There's nothing else looks right.
Okay,
on a
so
510.
you're going to tow the 280ZX Jim Fitzgerald car, which it needs a new crank fire ignition anyway.
As long as we got enough guys to push it on the trailer.
Well,
None of you guys leave because we're going to need every one of you.
Doing it. Les, don't break down the fourth wall. What do I tell you? What do I tell you? It's the first thing they teach you in mechanic school. All right, so this is the 510. You want to go to adamcarolla.com. You can check it out, or if you're watching me, you've already done that. Really, really cool piece, and you know, I'm weird in that I don't drive my nice cars too much, but I will race my nice cars. So it'll be fun to take this thing out in a couple of weeks, and obviously we'll keep you updated, and we'll throw some cameras on it and get everyone caught up. So until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Matt, Moderator, DeAndrea, and Les Canaday saying, keep the air in the spare and the bag in the wheel.